I cannot believe I almost just got arrested. And neither should you, because I didn't. However, I almost could have got a ticket.
Almost got a ticket.
Well, let me explain. So we were visited by a really nice younger, I mean, he's only been doing the job for a couple months, a Forest Service Ranger. I think they call themselves Rangers. I don't know, the cute green outfit. But
the side of his truck said law enforcement.
Law enforcement. Actually, it's funny. We had a different conversation about that. Now, what he done told us is that right there, what we are doing is illegal. And you say, Joel, why would he say that? Well, let me tell you. You see this stuff? This right here, it has nothing to do with that. But it kind of does. It's actually that the ground that we're on is not allowed to be camped on. Now, I explained, and he completely understood and empathized, and he didn't blame me. Hence, no ticket. But you see this road that we came in on and it keeps going down. That's not a real road. What? Yeah. Apparently people just been making roads out here. Now, we've camped actually right down there a little ways. And it turns out, you see where the there's a lighter dirt? Now it's sprinkling right now, but where the lighter dirt is and there's a path over there, apparently that is legitimate. This, however, this looks pretty legit to me. Just looks like less people travel on it.
For sure.
I mean, you can see other tire tracks. This isn't just us or any, you know, all that good stuff.
And fire pits and fire burns and...
And I had explained to him, actually, that's why we picked this site. It was flat, open. Obviously, no trees have been cut for this. And there's charred wood. And he goes, absolutely. I probably would have picked the exact same spot, other than the fact that it's not a legitimate spot, and which is confusing.
And the other thing is that there are no signs at the front of this entrance that we came in.
Or the other way.
Or the other way that say you can or you can't, or like this is where you could go instead, or like what's legit and what's not. Like there's not a single sign that says anything about anything. So how would we know?
Right, and that's another thing he had said. He goes, there's terrible signage here. Now in Washington State, there's some pretty decent signage.
Yeah.
There's also like gravel areas where you can camp for free. There are legitimate camp grounds. Some that have services, most do not. Some that are designated, some that are paid, some that are free. You know, it's, you know, vault toilets included in some. He goes, but you could, if you want to, you could go right down there, you're all good. That's legal. He goes, and I said, well, how far off the road? Because obviously we don't want the same issue. And he goes, well, I judge about a car's distance off, you should be fine, which is very confusing.
And like we chose to go up here because down there is way bumpier and like more wavy than up here.
Now let's say they close this area. This land will be used for hiking, walking, playing fetch with Fido, hunting, which right now is apparently bow season. We haven't seen a single hunter, but would we see a single hunter? No, I guess not, right? Camo. So that's interesting. There's other activities, snow shooting, things like that. But camping, as we are doing here, which is very obvious, I mean, here, there's no doubt about it, where we're camping. This is not permitted off of, out of a designated area or off the road, like a certain amount. And so that's kind of vague. Turns out though, this isn't like a one size fits all. So there's a couple takeaways here. One, always check with either the Ranger District office, and oh my gosh, more on that in a second. Check in with the Ranger's office, get a map if you can, find out maybe they have a suggested area, which he actually had an area about 2 miles down, or rather north, which we're probably not gonna go to.
Right.
You can also download using like Onyx. There's an app called Onyx or one of the other off-road trail map. You can download the specific area, which doesn't really work for us, but you know, it is one of those things. So these are the ways that you can protect yourself, because otherwise the fee would have been, it's a misdemeanor, even though it's a federal jurisdiction. It's a misdemeanor, $150 plus a $30 processing fee.
So 180 really.
Well, 100, yeah, at least. Now, of course, I think we could reasonably articulate, and that's the same, he basically wasn't gonna put, because he goes, yeah, you can reasonably articulate, like, this is where you should have gone. But that is something to know, that you just, if there's a ranger, and this is the first guy in a long time, apparently, which is why this area had become trash. I mean, one guy down there, he had, I guess he moved in, and he's been dumping his sewage waste, so you have a biohazard going on. That's disgusting. He has trash all around, and not a good situation. He goes, especially up here, we have a lot of illegal substances coming from over the border. Apparently there's a big issue with that here. I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah.
But we've seen Border Patrol agents, which is also particularly interesting because they'll back each other up. So you might see a National Park Ranger, National Forest Ranger, Border Patrol, Sheriff's Deputy. Like, he's the only guy out here with his department, but because they all back each other up, it's kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah, you could get anybody.
It could be getting anybody. So that is something to know, though. Check with the ranger's office, or you download an app, download the specific map for the specific area that you're in if you happen to do that research in advance.
I think that if, like, even if we did do all those things, right, where we checked at the ranger station and they said we could come out here, but it could, like you have to stay on the road. Mm-hmm. Reasonably, we're not that far off the road. So
we're not. So there's an argument to be made there. And that's where that's what he was saying, is like,
right.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made, but technically legal is legal, not is not. So
right. So like, I think even within legal though, it's a little murky in my brain still.
it is. Now he came around our camp and checked it out, and he goes, you know, obviously we're not leaking stuff. We don't have trash all around. We are actually allowed to burn here. And he goes, I'm surprised that's even a thing, because it really probably shouldn't be.
Right.
But he goes, what you do is you just make sure you clear an area, and then you want to have a fire, you know, a ring, something to contain the fire. And he goes, I will cite people, and probably rightfully, definitely rightfully so. He goes, I'll cite people for leaving a smoldering fire. If it's hot enough that it's still making smoke, put those fires out.
Yeah.
We don't do fires often because we just don't.
No.
It's not really our thing.
And I wouldn't have thought to do a fire out here anyways with all the forest fires going on. Like, I wouldn't have even, like, attempted a fire out here.
Nothing beyond, like, you're cooking on it.
Right.
Yeah. So these are things to know. That's kind of what we learned. And yeah, I mean, he couldn't have been nicer, I think. He was great.
Nice guy.
Yeah. So anywho, we're going to respect that. Now, we could go right down here. Let's hit the road because we already hooked up. We had unhooked our truck earlier in the day. Let's continue on. We are headed towards Kalispell.
I'm just kind of excited to get to Glacier, so I think if we just continue on down the road then.
This might have all been for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Good old Walmart here in Kalispell, Montana.
Yep.
It's been a minute since we've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like a nice enough place. I guess time will tell, right? But can't be that bad. And yeah, we have some shopping to do. We might pick up things like foil, bear spray. Actually, at Costco, they have, it's like $50 for two. Went to Big Five, it was $85 for 2 canisters.
Yeah.
Costco's should have it a little cheaper, and then we only have a few things that we need, really, and off we'll go. Anyways, but it's been a pretty good day, actually.
Yeah.
We learned a little bit. Also, these leaves are a-changing. We're seeing the colors. This one looks a little anemic, but some of these, look at these, already changing. Isn't that beautiful? It's kind of a weird September, I think, huh? Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Bye.